now available. You can go to my eBay store. It's an hour of stand-up comedy. They got some great extras, like a photo tour of my Crystal Mesa Farm bed and breakfast in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I've got a little teaser reel about Wild Bill on there, and it's a great DVD. So these are the folks that I wanted to do the streaming live event. Well, I just got a call from the producer literally minutes before we started this. Evidently, there is a flu epidemic in the Jackson, Tennessee schools, and one by one, they're closing the schools down. So right now, because I'm also shooting the DVD as part of the streaming, we're going to, double up what goes out live on the stream. We're going to capture that and edit that into a DVD. So, of course, you need an audience. But evidently the bubonic plague is loose in Jackson, Tennessee right now, which is, of course, not a funny thing, but, only my luck. So, kind of a tough thing. So right now, I don't know. When I'm off the phone with you in a couple of minutes here, I'm going to call him back and we're going to figure it out. I will tell you that certainly everybody who has already ordered it will get the money back. That's not an issue at all. We'll reschedule it. We'll probably do it in January, But I don't know. Right now it's on. That's what I know. Right now it's on. And if people will just watch my Facebook page and my website, WaltWilleyWorld.com, and my Facebook page and the Wild Bill streaming, live and streaming event page on Facebook, I will put up just as soon as I know anything. But right now it's on. I'm going to Jackson tomorrow. I've got an 8 o'clock flight. I'll be there by 10 in the morning. I'm going. And we'll just have to figure it out from there. So thank you for the public service announcement. I have the public service announcement from the Center for Disease Control, evidently, because I just don't know. Like I said, this news is fresh as of just before I called you. Right. So I'm going to, the minute we wrapped here, I guess in a couple minutes, I'm going to call him back and just see what the heck is going on. And
Before we let you go, we need to take a couple calls, if you don't mind.
Okay,
They've been hanging with us for an hour.
Oh, it's my pleasure. My pleasure.
It flew by. First up, we're going to get David on the line. David, say hello to Walt.
Hi, Walt. How are you?
Good, David. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, sir. My question goes for you. How was your experience down in Old Westbury?
Down in Westbury?
Yeah. You did an evening in Pine Valley?
Oh, yeah. I've actually done a couple things in Westbury. Years ago, Katie McLean and I did Barefoot in the Park at Westbury. And doing the tribute to Pine Valley was the first time I've been back to Westbury since I think we did Barefoot in the Park in '92. It's a wonderful experience. The tribute to Pine Valley things are just wonderful. In fact, we're doing another one coming up. I believe it's, I don't want to misspeak here. I believe it's February 16th at the, if I knew I was going to talk about this, I would have this right in front of me. But, of course, I'm so worried about the flu epidemic in Jackson now. We're at the, what is the name of the casino? It's in Connecticut, the Foxwood. The Foxwood Casino in Connecticut, I believe, on February 16th. That's Saturday, around Valentine's Day. I believe we're doing another tribute to Pine Valley. I think it's almost set in stone. And we haven't done one, I guess, since the one out there, in fact. We did some in Chicago, I believe it was in January, Chicago, Milwaukee, Green Bay, and we haven't done one since. They're a really great experience, and I think the fans just love them. I think they just love them. And after Foxwood, I think we're going to Philadelphia for that Sunday afternoon. So mark that in your calendar, David. Where do you live?
I'm in upstate New York.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Just have to come downstate and get to Connecticut. Were you at the one at the Westbury?
I wanted to, but I didn't have enough money to get down.
Well,
now you got time to save.
Yeah, now I have to save.
A couple months to save. Save your Christmas stuff. Don't buy anybody presents. Just buy yourself this one. That's the way to do it. David. A little bit selfish for the season. That's right.
That works.
I think I might. Thanks very much for speaking to me, Walt.
I hope.
Yeah.
Anything else, David, before I pick up the next call?
I think no, not that I can think of offhand, but
thank
you very much.
Appreciate it, David. Yeah, thank you. Nice talking to you.
All right, thanks, David.
Thanks.
Okay, next up we have Nadine. Nadine, say hello.
Yeah. Hi, Walt. This is Nadine from Joliet.
Hi, Nadine from Joliet. I'm only about 40 miles from you right now.
Right, and I had the pleasure of seeing you, and you helped me when you did Harvey at the meet and greet.
Oh, great. Well, thanks so much for coming. Thanks. Did you have fun?
I had a great time, and I have a wonderful story for you that came out of your show. You know, people, when you did All My Children, if you were the lawyer or you were Vince, Dr. Hayward, you did storylines that told people about different things that we didn't know about. And what came out of your show was I got to talk to Vince, and I told him about a girlfriend who has ovarian cancer, and he told me about an article about gold that they're using to pinpoint cancer.
Right.
And because of him, my girlfriend, who's been suffering for 9 years, is going to live.
Wow, that's wonderful. You see, he may not be a doctor, but he's a doctor on television, you see.
Well, yes, I told him no matter if he's on All My Children or not, he still plays Dr. Hayward. And so your personality always came through after meeting you in person as Jackson Montgomery. So,
actors have to, I always tell these kids that I teach that, you can't be something that you're not. Actors, they find those things in themselves that work for the character, and they magnify those, and things that don't, you have to just kind of, dampen down some. And so, that's the cloth that we cut these characters from. So there's always a little bit of it in whoever we play.
Well, you do wonderful things for us Illinoisans, and your fans here have a request. You're the only man we say that you could do it. You do a lot of little shows, and Vincent has done things calling you guys together to have a show up there. How about doing similar to fun in Ottawa with some of your stars from All My Children? How
about doing what, honey?
How about doing something this summer, with fun with All My Children, some of your actors and actresses?
I do something with somebody from All My Children every summer here.
Well, bring more, not just one.
No, bring more. Well, I'll certainly think about that.
Well, we all miss you, and thank you for doing so much for Illinois.
It's my pleasure. I love going up here. I think it's a great place, and I will continue to do that for just as long as I can.
Oh, I know we'll hear from you for at least another 13.
I hope so. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Nadine.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a good night.
You too. Bye, Bob.
Good night, Nadine.
We'll go ahead and take one last call, so you can get going and do what you have to do for
I got
your
to check
show.
the Center for Disease Control here.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, brother.
Up next, we have Dom. Dom, say hello to Walt.
Good evening, Walt. How are you doing?
Don, I'm very well. How are you, sir?
Nervous. I'll tell you why.
Why?
I became a soap opera fan with Guiding Light. That ended in in September of 2009. 2 years later, AMC wraps up, and I was curious as to the show because of the hype of the cancellation, so I checked out the final episode, liked what I saw, wanted to see more. and from there I was hooked. I actually became a fan of AMC after the show ended.
And how funny.
I'm lucky enough to still have SoapNet, so I'm able to watch the show. Unfortunately, it's during the period of time in which one of the less dubious writers was writing the program, so quality kind of slipped a little bit. If you're watching the show on AMC, you'll know exactly which writer we're talking about, so let's not name names here. What I did want to ask you was, there was, All My Children wasn't just about the drama. It had its moments of comedy, too. In particular, there was an episode from February of 2003, which was, the basic idea was supposedly that the storylines were thrown out for the day in favor of viewer suggestions.
Oh, sure, I remember that. Yeah.
Certain Thaddeus Martin decided to commandeer all the suggestions and tweak the show to make it revolve around him, culminating with the Erica Tad wedding. Right. Now, among the highlights was you in a priest smock getting to punch Jack Scalia in the face. Now, what I wanted to know was, what was it like to film that episode? Because I got to tell you, I have that on my computer. I watch it all the time. You and the rest of the crew looked like you had a damn good fun time.
Oh, well, listen, we up until the very end, where we were doing 600 pages in 4 days and just wasn't much time for fun of any kind. It was, you know what, I always had a good time. I really did. I can't speak for everybody else, but I really made it a point to, I tell these kids that I mentor, this is supposed to be fun. I mean, if you're not having fun, then you're doing something wrong. And I tried to live that myself when I worked on the show. And sure, anytime you get to step out of the norm and be in like a bizarro universe like that, it was a lot of fun. But I got to tell you, a lot of those party scenes, though we used to go till 2 a.m. shooting them, they were fun too. And it was one of the rare occasions, the big, the crystal ball and that kind of stuff, the rare occasions where you would have the entire company there. You would go, especially with the way we shot in the last 10 or so years, you would be in the same show with somebody, but you wouldn't see them. Their actors you wouldn't see perhaps for 2 or 3 months, and so they would work with, even though you're in the same air show. So those kinds of parties, the big parties and stuff, were always fun because everybody was there.
I can understand that, and it's funny I brought up the February '03 because that was in the middle. I can't say really in the middle, but that was during the start of a storyline featuring a character that I and a lot of people consider. Look, when you have soap operas, you have to have your villains, otherwise you take out a key part of a soap opera. But there are villains, and then there's William DeVry's Michael Cambius. Now that guy, I think Pam and everybody can agree with me. That was the most sadistic villain in the entire history of All My Children.
Yes.
He was not a nice person. No.
No.
He was not a nice.
If y'all want to really know how evil he was, Google All My Children, July 7th, 2003, and prepare to put a fist to your computer screen. But what I wanted to ask you was, what was it like to go through that storyline, its ups and downs, and what was it like to work with William DeVry? Because, it's a testament to how good he is that to this day, if I come across him as Storm Logan or Bold and Beautiful, I want to put a hole through my computer screen.
Well, first of all, he was not at all like the character, as is very often the case. I will tell you that David Canary was much more like Stewart than Adam, for instance. Much more like Stewart than Adam. And I mean that in the best possible way, of course. That storyline, was a very, for me, a rape storyline is always a tough one. And, I think that, and it should be. I think people should watch things like that and absolutely cringe because it is an horrific act to be, to have done to someone. And you're right. He was one of the best villains the show ever had. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. And to make it even worse, the victim was Bianca. So
of course, my Binky, my God, I wish Jack had gotten to kill him, and Jack wasn't the kind of guy who liked to kill folks, but I often wish Jack had the chance to kill him.
Right.
But on the upside, that in turn